I have the handprint and the codes from Sergeant Kent. You ready?
Oh, man.
This isn't gonna happen without you, Carl. Your friends need you.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'll get some transport.
Your friends and I will meet you outside the prison. And Carl?
Yeah?
You'll do fine.
can't see them. Oh, God, they killed everyone.
When I find you, you'll pay for killing my friends!
We need to stop them!
Oh, I'm coming for you now, sucker!
You're dead! Oh, damn it! We let them get away! Ah! Hostiles! Stand to! We got company! Roger, stay alert!
Stay sharp. There's some bad guys in the area.
Moving to cover. Grab your shit. We got hostiles. Copy that. Everyone get ready. I'll find them. They're out there. I know it. Ugh. contact!
Yeah, I don't have anybody here now.
I don't see anybody either, so eyes up. Bravo 3 is down! Stay focused. Kill anything! Go into cover! Don't let him further in! Die, you son of a bitch! Hostile slipped away. Let's go find him.
My name's Nomad. I'm here to rescue you.
This is a jailbreak?
Yeah, Carl Chisholm is waiting outside, ready to take all of you to safety.
Carl? Carl's here?
He is. Now come on.
What do you want?
Leave me alone.
No. No.
Look,
please leave me alone. Look, I don't want any trouble.
Just stop already.
Okay. Oh my God. Whoa. I'm busy. What do you want?
Hurry up! Let's go!
Carl, is that really you?
Yes! Now come on!
Oh, I never thought I'd be happy to see your ugly mug.
Come on! Let's get going!
No. No.
can't believe she's gone.
Oh, don't tell me you're gonna miss her.
No. I don't think I will. You can tell Jace. The back door to that program is gonna stay open.
You guys gonna be all right?
I hope so. We were in contact with the R&D center in Whalers Bay. They were able to help us out, at least at first. So, we'll head there. But, there's a soldier. Rosebud?
I've had the pleasure.
There were rumors that Herzog would let Rosebud hunt down escaped prisoners. It wasn't official, but they do it. She has every reason to come after us now.
I'll keep an eye out for info on Rosebud. For now, you guys do what you can. Stay healthy.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure we got everyone out. Then we'll be on our way. Good luck out there.
You think Hector's gonna be okay?
He won't be any worse than the rest of us.
If you get a hair up your ass and want to head out there...
Hey, we're families, not fighters. I'll get word to the other homesteads, see if they want shelter. I need you to play offense.
At least Layla's safe.
God knows what Coleman's doing to get our location out of those boys. I should have convinced them to come back here.
Hey, I tried too. And whatever happens, you've got my help. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Never thought I'd say this.
Hey, Jace, we made sure that back door is staying open.
And the programs?
Bitch of a warden is forcing them to work. Most of them got away.
Most. And the others? God. No more, all right? We have what we need.
piece of shit, but he really cares about all of us. He's looking out for the next big problem.
Haruhi was your close friend and she lied to you. How can you possibly come to terms with a betrayal like that?
People sometimes do things that aren't in line with their values. Haruhi was a woman of peace, but she still killed people. Skell had a dream for utopia and built hell. Honestly, I can't say I know what to believe in anymore.
Sometimes it's difficult to defend our actions. Things aren't always black and white. All you can really do is appease your conscience.
Even when that conscience is misguided?
Even then, sometimes it's the only thing you've got. I hear what you're saying.
I need to keep going. I just have to be more pragmatic from now on.
Why the fixation on the R&D Center? Project Omega.
Omega was a secret project initiated after the terrorist attack.
The Outcast attack.
Skell only selected his top-performing employees for it. He demanded utmost loyalty. Blind loyalty, because Omega went against everything Aroa stood for.
He needed to know Project Omega would be in the right hands.
And stay in the right hands. The R&D Center is the heart of the whole lethal drones operation. The fount of all ideas, all designs.
You seem to know a lot about it.
I used to work there.
Ah, it all makes sense now.
Reserve your judgments. Look, they have an army of scientists whose sole purpose is to engineer a mechanical superkiller.
That's a lot of manpower.
Brain power. Just think of what all that gray matter could have accomplished under the right encouragement. They corrupted noble intentions.
Huh. What's that saying again? The road to hell is paved or something?
I suffer every day for my mistakes. I will never forgive myself.
Well, maybe that's a start then. Nowhere to go from here but up. Still don't get how Skell could be interested in both Maddox and you. You're like night and day.
I would have said the same. Maddox was my opposite in every way, but here we are, both working on controlling killer drones.
Well, that's hardly a resemblance.
Still goes to show how stars can realign given the right circumstances. Skell always was the kind to trust his instincts.
Doesn't matter if you're doing the same things. The motivation behind them make all the difference.
I left my noble intentions behind a long time ago.
So how do you really feel about Project Deus?
Project Deus is a sect. Almost a cult. It's ridiculous.
Oh?
There are no gods in machines. Computers are tools, nothing more. They obey and carry out what we will of them.
Don't hold back now.
It's infuriating. Sadly, there is a certain power in what Maddox is trying to do. She has influence, and it has gotten her far.
What happens next?
I don't know. She's unstoppable when she puts her mind to something. All we can hope for is divine intervention before things get dangerous.
The virus Skell is developing. You think it'll work?
It's definitely coming out of left field, that's for sure.
That he would want to destroy his work?
He was so attached to those drones. I've never known him to be this pragmatic.
But will it work?
The virus is a wild card, but we have no other options. It has to.
Okay. So, what is World 2.0? I mean, what is it to you?
Imagine if you had the power to solve all of the world's problems through technology, innovation, and sustainable development. World 2.0 is an opportunity for us to re-establish the link between mankind and the environment.
So, a utopia.
A utopia is unrealistic. Do I dream of a perfect world? Yes, but I'll settle for a better one. The joy of people coming together to achieve something bigger than themselves. That's the goal. A place where everyone can be the best version of themselves.
You make it sound lovely. Hey, Madeira, you know anything about the composite factory? The one in Smuggler Coves?
Yes, that's where they produce all the raw materials needed to build the drones. All of the alloys, plastics, and composites. You know, like carbon fiber and epoxy. It all happens in that factory. It plays a pretty vital role in the process and manufacturing of the drones.
How are they able to get all of those materials and resources?
They're extracted from the local mines and then reprocessed. It's a pretty effective system they've developed over there, actually.
That open pit mine in Mount Hodgson seems pretty unusual for a place like this.
It's not that unusual, actually. All the mines of Aroa are open-pitted. There are a lot of mines on other islands, but Aroa is really a geological anomaly. We have such an extremely high concentration of minerals that open-pitted mining made the most sense. Of all the different types of mining methods, it has the highest yield. I don't love the impact it has on the landscape or the environment, but it's the most cost-effective choice.
Those mines seem ripe for exploitation and profit.
They are. The brain matter of the drones, the very motherboards and electronics, are crafted from the minerals of those mines. It's simply an invaluable resource.
The Arrow. That flying drone test zone in restricted area 01. What else do you know about it?
Oh, that place? They call it the Arrow because it's shaped like the edge of an arrow. Go figure, right? Anyway, yes, it's where they launch the drones and test how they operate at low altitudes. The drone's AI is challenged by the topography of fjords, which is why that area was specifically chosen for testing.
So is the platform built into a mountain or something?
Yes, actually. It's built on the side of a mountain on the edge of the fjords. They come and go from a platform hidden right in the middle of the mountain range.
Fascinating. The tech on this island is really something else. I didn't realize 3D printing had gotten so sophisticated.
What you've seen is just the tip of the iceberg. Seriously? I'm thrilled with what's on the horizon. The printing alone, it's nothing short of remarkable. I'm so stoked about it.
What's the latest?
Basically, all they need are the raw materials, and they can produce pieces that surpass anything I've ever seen in traditional mass production. Properties like elasticity, thermal resistance, density. This printer of theirs can match it perfectly.
I can tell it's something you're really passionate about.
You have no idea. This is revolutionary. Seriously, all they need to do is imagine a specific part, feed the design into the computer, and the printer can produce it in a matter of minutes. The possibilities are endless.
That does sound pretty remarkable. There's a recycling facility on Aroa, yeah?
There sure is. Skell had this vision of making Aroa completely autonomous and self-sufficient. The recycling program was right at the heart of that. Almost everything here can be recycled and reused.
What about the things that can't be recycled?
Well, there are a few vintage objects, hazardous elements, and pieces that can't be directly recycled. Those things are sent by autonomous ships to the Windy Islands. It's a cluster of small islands, just south of the archipelago. There's a more robust recycling center there. It's mostly deserted.
Which is probably why the outcasts decided to set up their base there.
That makes sense. It's an ideal location, really.
There's a detention center by Liberty. What's the history behind it?
It's basically a jail. It's fairly modernized, heavily guarded, and very protected. After the Outcast bombing, Sentinel Corp built it to lock up those people who threatened the security and safety of people living on the archipelago.
Well, I'm sure Sentinel only has the best of intentions.
Well, it's pretty ominous, actually. The people living there are just waiting for the law to decide what to do with them. I think it's inhumane.
Dollars to donuts, Sentinel sure as hell won't give him a fair trial. Stay safe.
You too.
I mean, he even found this place, right? Him and Rowan? Thought it could come in handy someday.
You sure this virus is gonna work?
Absolutely. It's not a computer virus like any other. Yes, it will hack systems controlling a sector of drones, but this virus includes an evolutionary algorithm.
Machine learning backdoor malware? I like my attacks a little simpler.
But our opponent, the systems, they're too complex to come at them with anything less. But don't worry. Paul and I will make it work.
I hope so, genius. I hope so. So, What does a billionaire arms dealer do? You know, whenever he's not manufacturing killing machines.
Skeltech is responsible for an extensive catalog of inventions over the past decades.
I'm listening.
Our first economically viable autonomous machine was the Skell Farmer, a harvester capable of recognizing the range and ripeness of crops. Since then, it's found unintended utility in mining and forestry.
So explain to me how you got here. From farming drones to war machines.
Our next invention, the Skell Transporter, was the first affordable smart delivery device, a new standard in the industry. The Skell Doctor may interest you, an advanced cousin specialized to carry sensitive medical supplies. You could easily shoot one out of the sky to steal its payload.
Could be useful.
Our Cherubim City and Sky models behave like mobile CCTVs, capable of facial and behavioral identification, and alert authorities in real time. I suggest you steer clear of them if you want to move undetected.
I'll keep that in mind.
My point is that I have dedicated my life to improving the human condition and relieving the population from the crushing weight of repetitive work.
Well, let's see if we can make sure your legacy's intact at the end of this. Genius. I need you to tell me everything you can about all the lethal drones out there.
Of course. Anything I can do to help undo what I've done. It all started with two basic military training drones. The Incubus for ground and its airborne sister, the Succubus. They were then multi-purpose, giving birth to new models. Eamon and his flying sibling Murmur were taught to patrol areas in the wild. Ime and Malphus were designated for location defense. The meanest models were Andrus and Stolas, search and destroy drones that the wolves just love.
I'm sure they're all perfectly tailored for whatever Walker's got in mind. Go on.
Behemoths are massive tank-like machines with incredible firepower. You'll mostly find them guarding infrastructure and strategic assets. Azraels, on the other hand, are long-range, high-altitude spy drones. They're capable of recon over a wide array of land and utilize heat sensors and pattern recognition to identify threats and intrusions. They aren't very well suited for battle, though. They mostly just point out targets so that strike forces can do the dirty work.
Thanks, genius. Wish me luck. Hey, did Fox tell you who his inside source might be? Now, I don't want to press him. I'm not even 100% that he has one. But if that source gets into trouble, he could need someone to help out.
He hasn't told me, and I doubt he would respond well to a man with a gun asking him the question.
Hey, you don't have to tell me. Just as long as you know.
I don't know. And it's not like him to be quiet about anything. I mean, the things that guy told me about his ex-wife, it was like listening to a guy describe a squid eating a chocolate birthday cake. Nobody needs to hear that.
So if he is keeping this secret, it must be pretty big.
Must be.
Hey, I've been hearing about that World 2.0 stuff. And maybe the world needs a software patch, but a utopia? Really?
People out there in the rest of the world, they think the Earth's dying. They have this belief in scarcity. They think that we'll run out of energy, out of space, or out of water, or anything. And that makes every day a crisis.
And World 2.0 would fix that crisis?
It was more about fixing that mentality. I wanted to show the rest of the world that with innovation, with creativity, and with a little courage, it's easy to see the universe is abundant.
And how about now?
It's still an abundant universe. That hasn't changed. Just, I thought I could keep out jealous people and the cowards.
No getting away from them.
No. I'm probably not as brave as I want to be either.
How did you buy Aroa in the first place?
I didn't buy it. I leased it. Aroa is technically part of New Zealand, but the U.S. had leased it for years.
Yeah. That's why there's the old naval station. But wouldn't it have been easier to rent a chunk of California or something? I'm sure there's a big stretch of Mojave that nobody wants.
Yeah. The abandoned naval station here piqued our interest initially, hoping we could piggyback on the Cold War infrastructure. That was a wash. But once we had visited Aroa, its biodiversity won us over. Good Hope Mountain has ice, Infinity is surrounded by fields, and the swamps of Finn Bog sport as harsh conditions as any good drone tester could wish for. We fell in love with the place. I bought the lease from the U.S. government.
And now these are your islands. No government but Skeltech.
Well, avoiding government regulation was a factor.
Oh, I'll bet it was. Sometimes it seems like Harmony's the only Skeltec kid in Aurora.
I don't know. We invited more people to Aurora who had children, but most of them turned us down. It was kind of great having Harmony around.
Well, I'm glad it worked out the way it did. There ain't so many kids out in Aurora for me to worry about.
Believe me, worrying about Harmony is enough.
You two seem to get along.
Yeah, she treats me like another kid. She's smart, but having her around helps me see things with new eyes.
But aside from her dad, she has no one else here?
No, just me.
Stay out of trouble.
Focus is my forte.
Fox, I have to tell you something.
What? What's wrong?
Not all of the scientists made it. Some died in Herzog's prison.
But they were just scientists. These goddamn tyrants are always preying upon scientists. They treat us like they're little toys, using us to make themselves more powerful and then throwing us away like we're nothing.
They had to know there was some risk when they signed up to secretly develop weapons.
No. Scientists use science for good. It's the men who own it who choose to do evil.
I suppose they could have just given Herzog what she wanted, but they chose to die rather than let her use her technology to hurt other people. They should be remembered for that.
You're right. I'm gonna spend the rest of my life making sure everyone knows that.
Listen, this must be a lot to take right now. So why don't you get some rest? This fight isn't over. We still need you.
You're right. Thank you for saving the ones you could.
Thanks for the help, Fox. I'll see you later.
Welcome back. I was worried they took you.
Stay out of trouble.
Focus is my forte.
Hey, looking good.
Later, brother.
Later.